What's that?
That's a swear jar. Every time someone swears, you put a quarter in it.
Who gets the money?
I don't know. We'll use it to buy something for the office, like a case of Bud Light or something.
Fucking awesome. You, Bob.
F you, Jim.
Eric, I have a bag on line 3 for you.
Can I borrow your pen? Can I borrow your f***ing pen?
Will the owner of a white station wagon please go yourself?
We're gonna go down there and we're gonna some ass. We're gonna some we're gonna do whatever we have to because we're gonna some
Poop.
Doesn't count.
Shut the up!
I am so proud of you mother suckers. Here, here.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
So that's the whole commercial. So I get a call from my agents, Pierre and Pat, and they tell me I have an audition in Santa Monica for Bud Light, which is a haul from where I live, about an hour and 15 minutes to drive there. And I walk in, and there's just the one line for the boss, which is, "I am so proud of you MFers." Right? I don't know what I can say on TikTok. I don't know if I could swear or not, because obviously there's a lot of swearing in the commercial. So I'm looking at it, and I think, you know, this is what actors do. We all do it, whether we say it or not. How can I Meryl Streep the crap out of this thing? It's one line, but you think, you know, what can I do to make this fun? What can I do to make this interesting? And one of Meryl Streep's superpowers is her vulnerability. And I thought, how can I be vulnerable to this? I thought, wouldn't it be funny if he gets choked up about saying, "I'm so proud of you, MFers." And I think, well, I'll take my glasses off, just like I do in the spot. "I'm so proud of you, mother effers." I thought, that's funny. So I walk in and I say to the casting associate, I said, "Listen, how much room do I have here to screw around with the dialogue?" And he said, "Yeah, do whatever you want. Let's go for it." So I do the glasses thing, I do the emotional thing, and I said, "I'm so proud of you MFers, you see suckers." And I add that, and he loves it. He thinks it's hilarious. So Pat or Pierre, I can't remember which one, calls me back and says, "Hey, you got a call back." So a week later, or 3 or 4 days later, I drive back, and the casting director's there, and he says, he asked me in, and I go into the callback, and there are, I don't know, 15 people in the room. You've got the Bud Light people, you've got the casting people, you've got the agency people. It's a full room. And the director comes up to me, David, and he whispers to me, he says, "Hey, do the glasses thing. It's hilarious when you get choked up." And he said, "Add in the sea suckers thing." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "Yeah, just keep it the same. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be in the back of the room. And if you see me do this, I want you to treat everyone in the room like employees at this company and keep doing the swearing thing where you're proud of everyone, but go crazy." I said, "Dude, David, seriously, how crazy?" Because I'll drop the pants and fire the rocket here. And as Don Rickles used to say, I said, I can go nuts. And he said, "Yeah, do it." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, just go all out." So I do the glasses, pull it off. "I'm so proud of you, MFers and you sea suckers." And he does the thing. So I point to a woman sitting out there in the, just a few feet from me. And I said, "And look at Barbara, look at the tits look at the size of those tits. Barbara, come on, that's a pay raise right there. We're talking $2 extra an hour because, in fact, we're going to make you employee of the month because I want everybody to see those knockers when they walk into this company." And Steven, come on. Have you ever gone to the bathroom with Steven? He's got to stand about 3 feet back from the urinal. It's like going to the bathroom with a donkey. I mean, I'm thinking that's a 2-week vacation for you, Steven, because, you're hung like a small mule. And I just keep going around the room. And my heart is pounding because these aren't things that you can say in real life. And I finish. I do a solid minute, maybe longer, And I'm racing. I mean, my heart is pounding, the blood is flowing, and they say, thank you very much. And I step outside. Now you do what every actor does, is you step out and you get a drink of water. You decompress a little bit from all the adrenaline that's flowing, but you also hang out, because oftentimes when you go out and you just leave, then you have the casting director chasing you down the street saying, come back, they want to see you again or something. So I go get a drink of water and I sit down for a second, and less than a minute later, here comes the casting director, and he sits down and he says, you know what we've been doing in there for the last couple of minutes? I said, what? He said, we've been watching that tape over and over. You're hilarious. You're a lock. And I said, oh, don't even say that. That's the kiss of the Spider Woman. Come out and tell me I'm a lock, because that means I'll never hear from you. You tell me I'm a lock, 2 weeks go by, no call. He said, I'm sorry. I said, okay. And then he winks at me and I went, oh, geez. All right. He said, no, that was a special audition. I said, okay. So I get the call from my agent, and she always does the same thing. She says, you know that Bud Light spot you got, that you auditioned for, that callback, they really loved you, but gosh, you know, I hate to make this call. And I said, oh, crap, really? They said it was a lock. And she said, yeah, it was. You got it. And yee! And she'll string that out as long as she can, because she thinks that's really hilarious, which is not so much fun on my end. But anyway, I get this spot. We're shooting downtown, and I only have the one line, and so I'm walking around watching them film other things. And the guy who is sitting there reading the magazine, and they say, with the owner of a white station wagon, please go F yourself. Well, I wasn't ready for his reaction, but he just does, you know, he's looking at the magazine. When they say that, he just looks up. Well, I lost my crap. I mean, I'm screaming, laughing. And David goes, who's that? And I go, yeah, it's me. And he goes, what are you doing? I go, he goes, it's really funny. It totally took me off guard. He says, yeah, let's try it again. And Rick, no laughing. I said, yeah, okay. So he comes to me about 2 or 3 hours later, and he says, listen, we've got about 7 or 8 extra seconds in this thing. And we're thinking of a boardroom scene where you've got a bunch of people around the table, and you're swearing around the table, but inspiring the troops. But you really got to go crazy. He said, could you do it? I said, yeah, let's go. He said, this is what I need. I need you to swear and then come out of it for a few words, because we're going to, you know, obviously we're going to, you know, we're going to cut that little bit out volume wise, you know, and then I need you to swear and come out of it and swear. So he called it connective tissue. He said, swear, connective tissue, swear, connective tissue, swear. So he said, let's practice, you know, let's rehearse one. And I used the P word describing a woman's genitalia. And I do, and the guy on my left at the table loses it. He starts laughing. And David says, what's going on? He comes out and he goes, he says, Peter, what are you doing? He goes, sorry, I'm gonna. So now I know I've got him laughing. So I do it again, but I look right at him and I say, you know, I go right at him, and he starts laughing. And David goes, Peter, and he goes, tell him to stop saying that word. He says, Rick, can you help us out? I said, yes. So the cinematographer, DP, director of photography, gets on his camera, and he's on one of those cameras that has a lift on it. So he's sitting here, the camera's here, and it goes up and down like that. So he's sitting on, he raises the camera up, and we lay one down. And it's great. I mean, I nailed it. And David goes, oh, no, cut. Oh, no, Rick, come here. And I walk into the room where they've got all the video monitors. He shows me the playback, and I'm about 3 seconds into the thing, and the take is doing this. It's going up and down like this. And I said, what's happening? He said, Jeff, or I don't remember the DP's name, but he says, Jeff. He says, Jeff is laughing so hard he's shaking the camera. He said, that's a good sign, but it's not good for us to use that take. Jeff goes, I'm sorry. So we go out, we lay another one down, and Jeff gets the camera where he wants it, and then he gets off the camera, and they roll it. And we do 2 or 3 more, but it's, it's pretty much the same thing. And they loved it. And then at the end of the day, we do the, where I'm talking to everyone. I'm so proud of you MFers and UC suckers. And it was all day long, everybody swearing at everybody on and off whether they were shooting or not. Everyone saying, oh, this MFing sandwich is really good from catering. And I mean, it was just a ball, just laughing all day long. And this commercial won all the awards. It won the Clio and the Addy and the Silver Lion at Cannes, I think. And it was so popular. Now, originally it was supposed to be a Super Bowl commercial, and it didn't end up. I think the censors got a hold of the beer and swearing and said, yeah, that we can't do that. But it became top 10 funniest commercials of all time, which I think it might still be in there, I think, maybe. And it was so well received that they did a sequel with the same people. I think it was like 6 months later, called Clothing Drive. So I'm going to show Clothing Drive and talk about shooting that commercial while we're all walking around with no clothes on. So if you want to see that, feel free to come back. I don't know if you click on something or not, how this works, but I'll tell that story. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that. All right. Bye.